In the duel, a wandering stranger with a mysterious past defends a village from powerful bandits. Something that I enjoyed with this episode that has been missing in a few others is that it doesn't take long to pick up the pace. Right away we are introduced to Ronan and the bandits, and it just gets better from there. The action all looked amazing, and the two lightsaber designs from Ronan and the Sith bandit both made the action unique. I loved the costume design for all of the characters, especially the bandits in stormtrooper armor and the various species of guards. The two townsfolk that we spent time with both interested me, especially with their courage and reaction to Ronan's red blade. Ronan himself was very intriguing and sets the tone for how these episodes will all be different from normal Star Wars storytelling. While the black and white coloring was a bit jarring at first, the emphasis it puts on the red lightsabers adds to the episode in a subtle but unique way. The music really stood out to me, but sometimes it felt like it was played at the wrong time and built up the tension too soon. The duel's unique visuals and intriguing characters present a story worthy of Star Wars while still being its own, earning a rating of 8.5 out of 10. In Tatooine Rhapsody, a band with big dreams must save one of their own from Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett. I'll be honest that there was a lot I didn't like about this episode. However, the bond between band members and the themes that came with that make this worth the watch for me. J&G and their dynamic really interested me in this episode. Both have gone out and pursued dreams that are very different from their origins, either as a Jedi or as a Hutt. I would have liked to learn a little more about the other band members though. While the idea of a music-focused episode interested me, it just didn't deliver for me. I wasn't a huge fan of the voices for some characters, and the songs themselves didn't fit. A lot of that is due to it being translated into English, but even in the original language it just didn't sound right. While the characters and themes are heartwarming, the musical episode leaves more to be desired, earning a rating of 6.5 out of 10. In the twins born into the dark side clash aboard a massive star destroyer. Sadly, this was one of the few shorts that I just didn't enjoy. While the basis for the episode sounded interesting, the story just didn't live up to my expectations. Throughout the episode it seemed like the focus was the visuals rather than the storytelling. Like I previously stated, it seemed like everything took a backseat to the visuals. The dynamic between siblings had its moments, and the droids were a nice addition, but there just wasn't anything memorable for me. Everything visually about this episode was amazing. The characters and voice acting were a bit over the top for me, but every sequence with the Kyber crystals and the Force looked stunning. Storytelling takes a backseat in this visually stunning episode that fails to live up to its potential, earning a rating of 4 out of 10. In The Village Bride, a Jedi on the run takes in the unique customs of a remote village under threat by a warlord. I wasn't a fan of the slow start to this episode, but I really enjoyed the story's dual focus on nature and the conflict with the raiders. Additional details like the battle droids made this episode a fun watch. While it would have been nice to get to learn more about some of the characters, mainly Valko, the old man accompanying F, the audience was given enough details throughout the episode to care about the main characters. This episode might have been my favorite artistic style so far. I loved the simplicity of some of the shots, and the lighting fit perfectly with the story and its themes. While the story didn't call for too many action moments, I thought the small moments near the end looked amazing. The Village Bride's mix of a detailed story and thoughtful themes create an entertaining episode, earning a rating of 8 out of 10. In The Ninth Jedi, the daughter of a lightsaber smith is pursued by dark forces while on a dangerous mission. I enjoyed how new this story felt. It genuinely felt like it was its own thing and it was content with telling its own small story. The reveal of the Sith was actually surprising, and all of the action sequences were interesting and fresh. Even though the characters can barely be fleshed out in the short episode, I felt like I was already familiar with them all enough to care about them. Each was unique and had their own background, and even the lightsaber smith, who was barely seen, was displayed in a way where his death made me feel something. Watching this episode felt like a condensed movie. The music is cinematic and helps add to whatever is being shown, whether peaceful or urgent. Not all of the voice acting fit for me, but the animation looked good and battles were paced well. The Ninth Jedi's refreshing story and compelling characters makes a short episode feel like a cinematic masterpiece, earning a rating of 9.5 out of 10. In T0B1, a cybernetic boy, who dreams of being a Jedi, discovers a dangerous truth about his creator. This was easily one of my favorite episodes from Visions. I could have done without the over-the-top battle at the end, but T0B1's progression throughout the episode makes up for any issues with the action. Rewatching it, I enjoyed the research aspect of the story much more than I expected, especially the connection between Jedi principles and the goal to create life on the planet. While I wasn't a huge fan of the Inquisitor and didn't view him as necessary, the episode shines in the moments between T0B1 and Professor Mitaka. Their father-son relationship is the highlight of the episode, and T0B1's actions gave meaning to Mitaka's death, even though the audience isn't given much time to connect with him. For the most part, I enjoyed the animation for this episode. The action sometimes felt over the top, but it still looked stunning. Both the color palette and the voice acting helped set the tone for the episode as well as reinforce the characters' goals. The various music also helped add emotions to the episode. While T0B1 ends with a fight that might not be for everyone, the heartwarming characters offer a story rich with Jedi themes, earning a rating of 8 out of 10. In The Elder, a Jedi and his Padawan pursue a dark and powerful presence. The overall story of this episode was the highlight for me. Seeing two Jedi track a renegade Sith was exciting to watch, and everything was unique to this episode. The Elder was really the only character that I found interesting in this episode. I found his dark side nature compelling and unique to this episode. The master and apprentice pairing had its moments, but when separated I found it hard to care about either of them. While every episode has a unique animation style, this one was just average for me. Nothing stood out as looking amazing or horrible. The fight choreography was all fun to watch because of the Elder's faster movements and the Jedi's more controlled movements. The Elder's unique story and exciting action provide a worthwhile viewing, earning a rating of 7 out of 10. In La Pendato, a family is torn about what to do when the Empire encroaches on their planet. This episode had one of my favorite stories throughout the series. The conflict between characters' points of views about the Empire's presence was developed in a great way, and the themes were never pressed too hard while still being present. While the characters all had moments that showed promise, I just never found myself connecting to them or caring at all. It was close for the father, but there weren't any qualities for each character that made them stand out to me. I did, however, like how each character was different, and there weren't many that were there to take up space. The animation style for the episode was about average to me, but I really enjoyed the action and the use of music. While other shorts rarely included any themes, the various pieces of music throughout this episode added more emotion to the family conflict. La Pendato develops an engaging story with sincere themes and capitalizes on its use of musical themes, earning a rating of 8.5 out of 10. In Akakiri, a Jedi returns to his forbidden love to help defend her kingdom from a Sith-like shogun. The first time I watched this episode, I had absolutely no idea what was going on. Even after watching it again, there isn't much about the story that's memorable. I would have preferred more details about the situation before what was a disappointing ending to me. Like the story, I would have liked more details about the characters. The flashbacks helped a lot, but there's obviously a connection between the two characters and I think the episode would have benefited from fleshing that out more. Especially with only a 13-minute runtime, the episode could have been a bit longer to add more information. Sadly, I wasn't a fan of this episode. The music didn't give any weight to the moment, and the animation just didn't hold up when compared to the other studios. There were a few designs that I enjoyed, but for the most part nothing stood out. While the story has promise, Akakiri suffers from a bland and immemorable story that lacks important details, earning a rating of 4.5 out of 10.
Make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on social media, and comment down below what content you'd like to see in the future. As always, thank you all for watching, and remember,
the Force will be with you, always.